Well, it's very, very good to be here, and thank you for inviting me in this magnificent picture palace.
This is a very rare opportunity. Our Maverick Spirit Award represents our highest honor. Previous recipients have been folks like Kevin Spacey, Harrison Ford, Spike Lee. In your autobiography, this quote that you achieve through film what's possible to achieve, a radiance, a transcendence. Can you speak a little more towards that? I love that quote.
I had this ambition to be a clapper-loader, and he's at the very bottom rung of a film crew. And I applied to all the studios, and I got turned down by them all. And so I had to become a director instead. I didn't enjoy making any of my films. There's too much stress and tension, and it's always a very tense and exhausting process. I mean, there are moments of pleasure, there are moments of enchantment, there are moments of revelation, but for the most part, it's very unpleasant. I remember seeing Billy Wilder in Cannes. He just made Buddy Buddy, which turned out to be his last film. And I said, how's Buddy Buddy, Billy? And he said, our movies are like our children, you know, and when you have a kid, you hope he's going to grow up to be Einstein, but sometimes they turn out to be congenital idiots. So I've had one or two congenital idiots in my career. I made this film, Zardoz, with Sean Connery. Well, well, you see there's quite a lot of enthusiasm for it. One of those films that went from failure to being a classic without ever passing through success. I'm often asked, how did you persuade Sean Connery to wear a wedding dress? Hitchcock used this method. He would go up to an actor and he'd point to a word in the script and he'd say, "Dog's feet." And the actor would think, "Dog's feet. Oh, pause, he wants me to pause." And by the time he's worked it out, Hitchcock had left, so he couldn't argue about it. The same thing with the wedding dress. I said, "Oh, Sean, you see this wedding dress? You wear that in the next scene, I walk away." I knew one director always had a crane on the set so that if he saw an actor coming up to him, he would get on the crane and have himself lifted up. The starting point is always where the light is. Once you've decided where the light source is, everything builds from that. I had so much pain inflicted on me by film in my life. I couldn't wait to go to digital. We can make anything of it we want. It's a marvelous facility, and it's transformed the way films look, makes filmmaking much more pleasant. No, it's not pleasant. I'm sorry. Less unpleasant, I should say. Every time you start a new film, you feel that somehow this is going to be the great one. This is the film that's going to transcend. It's going to sweep the audience up and into the film, and they're going to lose their bearings, and they're going to disappear into the film, and it's going to bring them revelation and transcendence. David Lean was a great friend of mine, and he was trying to make Nostromo when he fell sick. He got cancer, and I was with him a few days before he died, and he said to me, "John, I do hope I'll get well enough to make this movie because I feel I'm just beginning to get the hang of it." And I think that's that feeling. That's the same feeling I was describing. The feeling that this time we're going to do something astonishing. I made that partly because I was very concerned about the Amazonian rainforest and to see it being cut down and was pretty horrible. But I got over that, actually, because I realized that cutting down the rainforest was a very bad thing for us, the human race, but it didn't matter that much to the rainforest because in 1,000 years it could replenish itself. And 1,000 years is not very much time in the life of a forest. It will come back, but not in our time. You must learn not to fight to keep your vision pure. You have to learn to accept the changes and evolvement that goes on. As you eventually master your craft, you then become much more daring again because you know you have the ability to get out of trouble, whatever happens. The search for reality is bound to fail because film is not reality, film is something else. It's a light flickering on a wall. To make it more real, more believable, and it's all futile. The relationship between memory and imagination is very mysterious. My guiding principle really is I always ask myself the question is it truthful? And if the answer is yes, it stays in. If it's not, out it goes. Truth is what you look for.